has the power to make that influence?
I'm gonna name it. I'll tell you why. So before, I want to preface it. Before the Super Bowl, I would have told you that maybe it was the activists because they were really loud and they were doing work, not just being loud. They were doing work. After the Super Bowl performance by Kendrick, I will say those entertainers.
Because there's so many to Wayne to go through. I could go to Squad. I could go to Carter Foe. Carter front door, living room. I don't know.
Nah, man,
But
that
let's
Mona
put Wayne
Lisa,
on their piano trap.
man,
Mona Lisa.
Mona
Listen,
Lisa, the storytelling in that song, man. If for Wayne to do that
yeah,
without
forget
writing
that.
none of that down kills me. It kills me
Forget what I
because he
said.
can't perform it.
Forget piano trap. I'm gonna do Mona Lisa. Because that's him and
Yeah,
Kendrick. So I
yeah,
win there. I get both of my guys on that one. So I'm gonna do Lil Wayne, Kendrick. That's my
man,
five. Yeah.
man.
Mona Lisa
All right,
for
so
sure.
y'all heard it here
I know a
first.
Mona Lisa. I
This
know a
is what
couple
our
of them.
political leaders are listening to on the way
Yeah.
to the office as
You
they fight on our behalf.
For
you
sure.
need
They
it.
they
You need it. You need that energy. Going into these fights, you need that energy
That's
for sure.
that's that duality I was talking about. We have to have both to
Oh yeah,
balance this thing out. Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so that's a good segue into getting a little deeper as we talk a little bit more about politics. And I want to this episode is titled Aux Cord Politics because I want to talk about who's really holding the aux cord on our culture.
Mm.
Is it the politicians? Is it the entertainers? Is it the activists? Is it, who's really holding the aux cord?
Oh yeah.
So just from y'all's perspective,
Hmm.
who is holding the aux cord?
So
Who has the power to make that influence?
I'm gonna name it. I'll tell you why. So before, I want to preface it. Before the Super Bowl, I would have told you that maybe it was the activists because they were really loud and they were doing work, not just being loud. They were doing work. After the Super Bowl performance by Kendrick, I will say those entertainers because you'll notice a switch, and I'll explain it to you. So when Kendrick does his thing with the Super Bowl, right, and it shifted something. It definitely shifted something for sure about how entertainers speak into cultural moments because this is a cultural moment where we're at. The whole thing with the dancers, the whole thing with Samuel L. Jackson being Uncle Sam, like that's a whole statement. And then
Hmm.
even today, when we just had this issue with Sydney Sweeney, she does this ad, right? But then Levi comes right behind her and they use Beyonce for their ad. So I would have to go and say that right now it's the artists that are speaking into these cultural moments. And it's not, I don't think it's been that way before, but I think today is definitely the artists because they represent not only their music, they represent a people, a culture, and they are representing our culture. And I think that they know that. And I also think that people with money, the advertisers know that. That's why they put them in these commercials and in these spots. So I would go with the artist, and I can go deeper with that. But right now, the artists are the ones that actually hold that.
Got you. Jonathan, do you agree, disagree? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. Like it's in these times, it's a famine, it's a drought, it's a hardship time for people.
Yeah,
And in these type of times, art is what speaks. Art is
yeah,
what carries. Is what transcends in the past. And
mm,
we need not only the
yes,
artist taking the reins, as he stated, we need artists to show the art, to document these times through music, through paintings, through dance, through these are the times for art and every artist to thrive. Like Jay-Z sitting home, I don't care you're a millionaire. Why are you not
nah,
releasing music?
say something.
The four
Yeah,
four 444 was
bro.
I can imagine what 555 looks like. We need six
Yeah,
six six. No, no, not
bro.
that one. We need 777 right now. But you see, like the art, it's time for the artists to speak and free expression. The Doechis, the
Yes,
Kendricks, the like. It's time now to speak on these times because while
yes,
we're fighting, we need movement music. We need
yes,
movement music of the revolution. It got us in the past. It got us from slavery to the ships, to the plantations, to the fields, from the trees hanging, from the popping trees,
yeah.
from the
Popping.
voting booths, from the balcony with King up there looking on, to the Malcolm's podium to Bill Clinton we always have some type of music that enrich the culture. We need it now. So I completely agree.
Yeah, because it unites us, right? It unites us as a people. So even if Jonathan and I, we speak the same language, we're from the same culture, but if we spoke a different language, the music itself unites us in the same cause. And so the artists, they have a responsibility in moments where there is struggle, where there is power dynamic shifts, where they need to speak into those things, because we support them, yes, but we do look to them because we're like, you have a platform that we don't have. So believe it or not, you do have a responsibility to the community that supports you. You do have a responsibility to the community that puts our money, our time behind you to speak on our behalf in these moments to your platform, because your voice reaches way farther than our voice can reach. And so we do expect our artists, those that we've supported forever, to speak on our behalf, even if it is in their music, the way that the dance, the art. They don't have to directly say it, but we have to understand that in their art, it does come out.
It's interesting that y'all said that, because I wrote a blog earlier that talked about like hip hop and artists and leadership. And I kind of led with the quote from Dave Chappelle when he was like, "Where's Ja Rule? Who cares what Ja Rule got to say?" So it's interesting to hear y'all as politicians say, not necessarily like we care what Ja Rule got to say, but at the same time saying like, yo, we kind of need Ja Rule to step up and say something because it helps our fight. And part of what I was digging into in that particular post was talking about how we want these people to be leaders sometimes, but a lot of them are child stars when we think about it. Like even Diddy, he wasn't necessarily a child, but he was like 19 when he came into like $45 million. And in my mind, now that I'm a middle-aged woman, 19 is a child. And me at 19 with $45 million, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling where I would be.
It's been a problem.
A major problem. And so it's like we give them this money, and then when you think of just that generation, they didn't necessarily have Black fathers in the home, or Black role models. So they get this money, they don't have any discipline or the structure, and then they get into an industry where the people that they have as role models are white men. They are the Trumps. They are these people. And if you're looking for, or even subconsciously looking for, a surrogate parent, it's easy to kind of connect with one of these men and maybe pick up on some of these bad habits and things that they do, because now it comes off as, this is what you're supposed to do when you're rich. How we know any other difference if all the people you've ever been around have been poor and then you're thrusted into this? And so I think it's very important as an artist, or as a creative, I consider myself an artist and a creative, that healing, like some therapy needs to be had and all of these things if we want these leaders in entertainment these people in entertainment to be leaders, because if not, then they just kind of bring in their childhood traumas into that space with them.
So
completely agree.
Here's my thought. I don't want them to be leaders. I don't. I think we have competent leaders on the ground. But what I need them to do is to use their voice properly. I think that's where we start having the issue. So I know that growing up in the Black culture, there's been a lot of Black fathers that haven't been there in the past. Like right now, Black fathers are present and active, but in the past, we've had that issue. And I understand that their role models might have been white men, but it was our dollars, it was our support, it was our voices that got them to that point. And I think it's not the issue that we want them to be leaders. I think we want them to understand and realize that we're the ones that got them there. We're the ones that played their songs. We're the ones that bought their merch. We're the ones that went to their concerts. We're the ones that streamed their music. So when it comes to a point where you see us hurting, I don't need you to come up and be a leader. All I really want you to do is acknowledge, hey, my people are hurting. The people that supported me are hurting. That's enough. because we have competent leaders on the ground that can take that. But I just need you to use your voice properly to speak to that issue. Even if you don't understand it, it will be okay if you fumble over your words. You don't have to say it perfectly. It just needs to be acknowledged that you see the people that supported you get to where you are, that they're struggling because of policies, because of voter rights, because of these things. You just need to speak to that, because your platform is broad and wide enough that if you just speak to it, other people will take notice. And then that's where we come in as leaders, and we need to have a game plan to take that part. Because I know for so long that we have looked to entertainers and movie stars and all these people to lead these charges, but I think that's the wrong approach. We don't need them to lead the charge. We just need them to lend their voice to the cause that we're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. So let me ask you this, as a person who has been very, very close to power, close to the closest powers that you can
We can
possibly.
take this offline, and I will explain to y'all exactly how close.
But as a person who has been very close to power, do you feel like that when these artists kind of get close to that power, it's more of like they kind of forget or they get comfortable more so than like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like, I don't have to do this. I'm sitting next to
Yes.
Bill Gates or Steve
Yes.
Jobs or whatever
So
the man name
for
is.
power is intoxicating. It just is. And the closer you get to it, the harder it is to pull away. Not only because there's money there, right? But there's respect there. There's doors that will open for you automatically just because of who you know. There are things that can happen to you and for you that you don't even have to work for just because of the circles you're in. So the closer you get to power, the harder it is to pull away from. And I stumbled into power just because I didn't even know who I was around at the moment. It became clear and they brought me in. The only reason I was able to pull myself out was because I have family that I love dearly that were outside of that, where they were able to speak into that. But if you don't have anybody to speak to you or to help you in that, oh man, it's intoxicating. I don't know how you get out of it. I don't know how you get out of it at all.
That makes sense. So I kind of want to bridge that and talk about the social media influence of politics, because I'm not even going to say it seems, politics has gone very social media. And it's interesting because both of y'all have very quiet social medias pages.
There's a reason though. There's a reason.
What you
So I'm gonna
said.
shift
The reason.
and let's get into it. And I want to start with you, Jonathan. Like, why, if you can get into the reason. If not, I get it, because it is politics, and I know everything can't be everything. And I don't want y'all to have the feds over here at my door either.
Hey,
'Cause
listen, they already watching me.
Oh man.
I'm pretty
already
sure they watching both of
Yeah.
y'all.
I
It's
am
cool because we got Homeland Security looking at our mayor. We have elected officials with pending felony charges for supporting immigrants. We have Elon building tunnels through the street. We have Elon building factories in Memphis and Mississippi, taking over Knoxville, building railroads, coming through. We have all the eyes on us at the current moment, and I just don't care no more. So I don't try to advertise